This is self-publishing news for February the 7th, 2022. And boy, we got a lot of news to get to, so let's jump right into it. We're going to be talking about this in today's podcast recording, and that is Publish Drive. They just announced that they're navigating Publish Drive's new royalty payments dashboard. You're going to find three main sections under royalty payments: general info on the top left, payment history on the top right, monthly royalty revenues at the bottom. They go in depth about this, so if you happen to distribute through Publish Drive, you will probably be elated to know about this new feature. It's a little better user interface in my opinion, so go check it out for yourself. That's at Publish Drive. Moving further forward to kind of their competitors, if you will, or at least their contemporaries, if you will. That's StreetLib. Now, StreetLib talked a little bit about this inside their newsletter that they shot out here last week. And bear with me, I had this inside my notes, but for whatever reason, I lost it at this point. Give me just a moment here. StreetLib Write, our complete tool for book production of printed and digital editions, which will have new performance upgrades. It will allow you to create high-quality editorial products. We will keep you posted on new developments with a dedicated email. All that to say this, that they are putting together their own built-in software. So in the event that you only have, say, just the minimal type of word processing type stuff, and you would really like to start putting in somewhere that it can get formatted properly, StreetLib's kind of putting that together. Now, I don't know if they're going to require you to publish to their platform when you use StreetLib Write, or if this is going to be a situation kind of like Drafted Digital has, the automated interior formatter that doesn't cost a dime, and they've even encouraged people like, hey, use it, abuse it, like, please use this. So StreetLib Write, I'm looking forward to this. I can't wait to see what they've got going on. Big things coming along the pipeline here for StreetLib. I really like what I see so far. All right, moving forward here, Kobo Writing Life. Oh, there's a couple of birthdays this week, and Kobo is one of those here. Kobo Writing Life actually is celebrating 10 years. 10 years in the business. You tried out Kobo Writing Life yet? You really should. Now, this is my personal opinion, all right? I feel like they have the best user interface, and it's even better than something like Kindle Direct Publishing. Again, my opinion, all right? I really like Kobo, and going directly there makes a lot of sense. We've talked about it in previous podcasts. You can always just search back into my back catalog and figure out why I love them so much. But they've been in the business for 10 years. Happy birthday, Kobo Writing Life. Congrats. Let's see 10 more out of you. Let's move over into the very next piece of news, and that is Drafted Digital. They just gave a little bit of a warning that, hey, look, print, which we're going to be discussing today for D2D, the prices are going to change. They said, of course, this has a lot to do with supply disruptions. Due to supply chain issues and the rise in material costs, our print partner has informed us that as effective of March 1st, 2022, the cost of author copies and proof copies via D2D will increase. Now, this is not a shocker, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about it in today's podcast recording, where we're going to discuss Smashwords versus Drafted Digital versus Publish Drive. Part of the print that's in beta still currently on Drafted Digital, that distribution goes to Amazon and Ingram. And I have a feeling we saw this the week before last, I believe, when Ingram Spark said, hey, we're jacking up our prices. Just to let you know, you might have to fix your retail prices accordingly. So it's probably having that trickle-down effect over the Drafted Digital. They have no choice at this point if you're using Ingram for distribution. So if the supplies are increasing, they have to charge just a little bit more. So there's no nefarious reasons behind this at all. I want to give a big shout out over to a website called Scribando. Scribando is fantastic for getting more information about self-publishing, and most importantly, through things like marketing and promotion. Scribando gives me free access, but you can go ahead and pick up a annual access or monthly access. If you go visit Scribando, that's spelled Scribando, Scribando.com. So yeah, they give a lot of great news at this point, but I had to be super picky. And one of the things I found very interesting, because I know a few podcast viewers actually are comic book artists. Now, this comes from the people over at Good e-readers, so I got this information through Scribando, giving them credit here. Comixology to get integrated into Amazon Kindle. Now, this is a surprise to me because I've been able to read comics typically on my Fire. I've never tried to read comics through things like my Kindle app because it's just black and white. But according to this, it's saying that apart from the Comixology app itself, it's going to get integrated into the Kindle app. So if you want to get some things through Comixology, you can still be able to read it on your Kindle e-reader app. It's kind of cool. Take a look at that. I'm going to leave, of course, links inside the description down below after this broadcast here. Okay, moving further forward, there were some big numbers that was coming by way of the Alliance of Independent Authors. They were talking a little bit about book talk and such, but the thing that I really wanted to focus on was this. Kindle Unlimited pays $450 million in 2021. What? 450 million. We closed out the year, and I bet it back in November. I said, December, we're going to close out. We're going to break at 40 million in the KDP Select Global Fund. Sure enough, we did. I think it was like 40.2 or 40.3 million dollars. That is insane. My gosh. Okay, so let's go back over to this piece just ever so briefly. That last story leads perfectly into us. Kindle Unlimited paid authors $450 million last year, but Mark Williams asked typically pertinent questions about what that actually tells us. And the answer is very little when it comes to the big question of what we're earning from the overall subscription market. What the previous story also illustrates is that even if ebooks continue to grow as a medium, even if the subscription continues to grow as the way people want to read those books, there's no guarantee that the pie we get a cut of will also grow. Certainly some things to think about right there, because we see these very large numbers, but how many people are dipping into that pool? How much are we actually going to get paid out? And no less, how much of that total money, okay, beyond that pool that's given over to the authors, what is Amazon pulling in? It's got to be a fair chunk of change, I would assume. Last but not least, one more piece of news, and it's a big happy birthday. I believe today is the day, to the folks over at Lulu. Celebrate 20 years of publishing, printing, and selling print-on-demand books around the world. I was just jib-jabbing about Lulu this past week. If you didn't get an opportunity to go watch it, you're going to find out Lulu's actually pretty good company. I know that they had a bad rap from a number of authors out there, but there's quite a few authors that still do enjoy them, and I've seen them improve immensely over the last year or two. So definitely, big congrats. Happy birthday. Happy anniversary. I don't know if you consider it anniversary or birthday. We're going to call it a birthday because it was the birth of Lulu. So there you go. That was the news for February the 7th, 2022. Was there a particular piece of news that you enjoyed the most? And also, did I miss anything over the last week? Definitely would love to hear